Dalai Lama received his Ramon Magsaysay Award in person yesterday in India, 64 years since being chosen for the honor. The award foundation recognizes leadership of the Tibetan community in defending their religion. President Susan Afan and Trustee Emily Abrera join us now from New Delhi. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, before I get into the nuts and bolts of the award presentation, what was it like to be in the presence of the Dalai Lama? Susan.
Rico, it was awesome. Awesome, inspiring, and just so uplifting. Ems, what about you?
Rico, there are no words. Very, very hard to describe. Just it felt very natural, very calming, and he emanates peace. He actually does.
And Susan, why has it taken so long?
Peaceful.
So, Susan, why has it taken so long to personally present the Dalai Lama with his 1959 Ramon Magsaysay Award?
Well, Rico, this is a little bit of a history lesson, not just for your viewers, but for many of us. 1959 was the year that the Dalai Lama actually was exiled to India. And it was only 5 months after the award was given that he landed in India. So during this whole entire time, he was traveling and going to India. So he was awarded the Ramon Magsaysay Prize August 31, 1959. And during that time, it was his brother that came, Guailo Tiondok, that came and received the award in Manila in his behalf. And so 64 years later, we find ourselves actually celebrating our 65th anniversary here in Manila. And we are in the midst of producing a new book. It's going to be a 7-book series. And in the process, we found out that the Dalai Lama never saw his award. And so several months ago, we tried to contact his office to see if we could actually personally bring it to him.
Yes.
And they gave us that wonderful opportunity.
And Emily, share with us, what was the experience like handing over that Ramon Magsaysay Award to the Dalai Lama?
The Dalai Lama is, he has no protocols. He receives people very naturally. He greets them. He blesses them and so on. And so when we said we had something for him and it had to do with the award, he was like a kid. He opened it. He was excited. He wanted to see the medal. I mean, it was like watching a child opening a gift.
And it was also such a sentimental moment for him, Rico, because his brother is now 93 years old. They're not in the same place. And so looking at his pictures, he was, you could see the affection that he felt for his brother, caressing the picture, looking at him. And it was just such an emotional moment for all of us.
He looked at each page, and looked for his brothers. And he would rub the photograph. It's just...
Susan, this is 64 years delayed, but finally, this trip was made. But of course, before your visit to Himachal Pradesh, which is the home of the Dalai Lama, the Tibetan Buddhist leader faced widespread criticism after a controversial video which went viral. Were there apprehensions from the Ramon Magsaysay Foundation to make this visit at this time?
I have to tell you, being in the United States for over 30 years, the first time I saw that headline, I was appalled myself. But then, after I watched the entire video, and, after, as you know, I was also involved in Bantay Bata for 4 or 5 years with the ABS-CBN Foundation. When I watched the entire video, it was a very obvious sensational just headline for me. I did not believe it, and I'm very happy that the Board of Trustees as well also agreed with the way I saw it, that this man is a great human being and did not deserve the kind of sensational headlines that he got from the media.
It was, Rico, if I may, it was a case of misinterpretation or understanding of a cultural tradition. The Tibetans understand it very well, and that is the reason why when that criticism came out, it may be for the Dalai Lama himself, knowing perfectly well that he did nothing wrong. It is easy to say, oh, it will pass. I mean, people will eventually understand. But the Tibetan people were so hurt. Mm-hmm. They were so hurt because, it was a slight on the culture.
Emily, Susan, just taking a look at your pictures with the Dalai Lama, it really tugs my heart, because he's very affectionate, very friendly, very sweet. What can we learn from the Dalai Lama, especially for the Gen Zs and the millennial generation?
Well, I do have to tell you that he has a special message to the youth. But this is going to be part of the book that we're going to be releasing in November, Rico, for our 65th anniversary. But generally speaking, I do have to say that he's very concerned about the environment, the planet that we live. He wants all of us to be involved in making sure that we protect the same planet that we all live in. He is also very much into the thought that violence does not solve anything. That it's only through conversation, it is only through dialogue that we can achieve peace. And that peace, he says, when you have peace in your heart, it makes you sleep. And when you sleep well, it makes you healthier. And so overall, it is the same message of love, compassion, peace that he has been advocating for almost 88 years.
Yes. He talks a lot about what we have in common as human beings. And he often says, we were all born the same way. We all suckled at our mother's breast for milk. We were nurtured and fed from infancy. And, these are things that we all have in common. And therefore, we are connected in that way. And it is far better to go back and look at the connections we have. What makes us similar, rather than what brings about conflict. It's a small planet, and there's 8 billion people. Surely there must be ways where we can all find space to live a happy and fulfilled life.
Susan, Emily, lovely to have you both on the final word. Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation President Susan Afan and Board Trustee Emily Abrera joining us from New Delhi in India.